Welcome to this high-yield explainer. If you are gearing up for the APPSC Group-2 exams, you're absolutely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking a highly testable topic together, the economic geography of India tourism. We're going to start by looking at the massive macroeconomic weight of this industry. And then we'll zoom right in on the specific geography that actually makes it all happen. Okay, here's our blueprint for today. We're going to cover 1. The economics of Indian tourism, 2. Classifying tourism products, 3. India's natural geography, 4. Built and symbiotic heritage, and finally, 5. Infrastructure and future trends. Let's dive right into Section 1, the economics of Indian tourism. So, first things first, we need a rock-solid, exam-ready definition. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, tourism is defined as an activity conducted for a short period of time. Now, specifically, that means more than 24 hours and less than 1 year for a non-remunerative purpose. It really helps to organically emphasize those specific timeframes as you study. Over 24 hours, under 1 year, and non-remunerative, which just means the traveler isn't going there to get paid by a local source. This is a classic, highly testable definition, and it really forms the foundation of our entire economic discussion today. All right, get a load of this number. 20 million. That is how many jobs the Indian tourism industry currently supports. To put that massive scale into perspective, that's roughly the entire population of Sri Lanka, fully employed by just one sector. It isn't just some niche area, it's a primary engine for employment. We're talking about everything from hospitality and aviation, all the way to local artisans and tour guides. And building on that momentum, those 20 million jobs translate directly into serious national wealth. Tourism generates a solid 6.23% of the national GDP. When you're analyzing the Indian economy, it's absolutely vital to recognize tourism as a critical, foundational driver for socioeconomic progress and poverty alleviation all across the country. But what's really fascinating is the trajectory. The industry's projected economic growth was pegged at a staggering $275.5 billion US dollars, compounding at an annual growth rate of 9.4%. This highlights massive foreign exchange earnings potential. It creates an undeniable economic ripple effect, too. When foreign capital enters the tourism sector, it cascades into construction, agriculture, telecommunications, and even local retail. The whole economy feels it. Moving right along to Section 2, classifying tourism products. Now, what's really interesting here is the fundamental dichotomy of tourism. On one hand, we have raw natural resources. Think of the breathtaking Hoganakal Falls, just pure gifts of geography. On the other hand, we have man-made attractions, epitomized by constructed marvels like the Taj Mahal. Understanding the split between natural pull factors and human engineering is key to classifying products. But hey, who's actually visiting these places? Here is a crucial insight for your exams. Domestic tourism remains the absolute mainstay of the Indian tourism industry. While international tourism is great for bringing in foreign exchange and connecting India to global commerce, it's actually domestic travel, driven by a vast population and government initiatives like Leave Travel Concessions or LTC that really insulates the economy. When global crises hit, it's the domestic travelers who keep local economies afloat. Let's map this out in Section 3, India's natural geography. So if we look at the geographical layout, we see these really distinct belts. We've got vibrant coastal beach economies thriving in states like Goa, Kerala, Maharashtra, and Orissa. Contrast that with the sprawling mountain tourism belt. This stretches all the way from the northern Himalayas in J&K, Himalaya Pradesh, and Uttarakhand, down to the hill stations of Tamil Nadu in the south, and then across to Sikkim and West Bengal in the east. Each of these states leverages its specific topography for economic gain. Let's see how all this builds together in Section 4, Built and Symbiotic Heritage. This brings us to a really important, highly specific concept, symbiotic tourism products. By definition, this is a perfect blend of natural resources integrated with man-made infrastructure and facilities. It's the recognition that raw nature alone isn't always enough to safely or sustainably support a massive influx of tourists. Human engineering is practically required to bridge that gap. Take a place like Kaziranga National Park in Assam, for example. The spectacular wildlife, like the iconic rhinos, and the lush flora, that's all entirely natural. But to make this a viable tourism product, you need managed sanctuary infrastructure. You need safari roads, ranger stations, guided protocols, and lodges. Blending the natural asset with built infrastructure is exactly what transforms a simple wilderness into a major symbiotic tourism product. We also need to kind of broaden our definition of man-made products. It's not just buildings made of stone and mortar, right? It also includes the rich, intangible customs, traditions, and events-based products. Events like the Goa Carnival, the Pushkar Fair, or traditional regional dance festivals act as massive economic magnets. They are culturally engineered attractions that bring in both domestic and international crowds, really showcasing the soul of India. Finally, let's tie it all back to how we get there in Section 5, Infrastructure and Future Trends. It's honestly amazing to realize that transport infrastructure is the ultimate backbone of this whole shebang. None of these products generate a single rupee if people can't actually get to them. Just consider the Indian Railways. It is the fourth largest globally, boasting over 63,000 kilometers of routes and connecting 6,909 stations. And look at aviation. Opening the skies to private low-cost carriers, or LCCs, back in 1993 was a massive game-changer. It fundamentally shifted the economic geography by dramatically reducing travel time and putting air travel right within reach of the vast Indian middle class. Now, for those of you prepping for your main essays, you'll definitely want to note these vital modern trends driving the industry forward. The government is heavily leaning into public-private partnerships, or PPPs, to rapidly develop infrastructure. Simultaneously, changing tourist preferences are reshaping the market, leading to explosions in niche sectors like ecotourism, health and wellness tourism, and rural tourism. These aren't just buzzwords, guys. They represent a real diversification of the economic base, spreading wealth to entirely new geographic pockets. So, the landscape is constantly shifting, which brings me to a provocative question to leave you with. How will changing tourist preferences reshape India's economic geography in the next decade? Think critically about this for a second. If tourists start favoring rural eco-lodges over major coastal resorts, how does that shift the flow of capital across the states we discussed today? Pondering this will perfectly prime you for the analytical thinking required in your interview stages. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep your notes organized and happy studying.
Thanks for watching. For daily APPSC Group 2 study material and updates, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.